All right, after many hours, many times taking the engine in and out of the engine bay, I'm finally ready to make the motor mounts. I'm just gonna bolt the rubber parts onto the frame on each side. We'll start making some plates and then see if we can get this in here. Got a lot more room on this side to work with. These motor mounts are going to be a really dumb design because of how much lower the block sits, but that's what I got to work with. I'm not trying to win a looks of pretty here, I'm just trying to win a looks of boat engine in a truck. Show you how well we're lined up here. It's really hard to tell because the hoist is in the way and because of, you know, everything we're working with here, but I had spent super long trying to center this engine based off of the motor mounts until I realized that the motor mounts are not centered on the engine. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at the dead center of the crank here, the driver's side mount is offset by a little bit, and then the passenger motor mount, if you can see that right there, is offset by a little bit more. It's very subtle, but it's enough that I didn't notice it, and that was the biggest flaw in my original plan. Once I noticed that, I kind of centered it with the crank and the drive shaft, and now it's pretty damn close. And as long as my hoist doesn't drift on me, we should be good. I have a wheel spacer on the front of here as counterbalance so that it's hanging perfectly in line this way. This level here is showing that it's perfectly in line left-right. Granted, I don't know if the truck actually is level to that. I don't really care. If anything, I think the truck is leaning slightly this way, and I think the engine is leaning slightly this way, which is fine in terms of engine torque, because when it revs up, it's gonna torque this way anyway, so that's fine to me. You come back here to the drive shaft. It's supposed to sit right about here. If we can get it to stay there, I'll have to go turn that hook. Working with a fixed hook is really difficult, but in some ways it's actually kind of nice because you can preload the hook one way, and then when it settles back, it'll twist the whole load. So that should be a little closer. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's about in line with the drive shaft tunnel, which is probably gonna have to be cut out and replaced anyways. Go to underneath the truck. The drive shaft is coming through about dead center with that, which is fantastic. I mean, it might be off a little bit. It's fine. Okay. Crawling this damn truck again. Alright, we got 0 degrees on the pinion. Yeah, there we go. It's pointing up by 0.2 of a degree, which I can make up for that when I build the trans cross member, which is perfectly fine. So I'll just have to, you know, pull this down a little bit, or even the weight of setting it onto the rubber will probably correct that angle. So we are fine. That's good to go. Not exactly sure how I want to make these mounts. We'll start with 8 inches of plate. It'll give me a lot of space to work with. And maybe 8 by 4. 4 inches will give me a lot of space to build off of. So let's go cut 2 8 by 4 plates. I don't remember if I talked about what size of plate I wanted to use for these at all. I had thought about using 1/4 inch plate, but then there's only 2 bolts to hold the motor in. So what I think I'm going to use is 3/8. It's going to be a little overkill, but for 2 bolts, I think it should be plenty strong, especially with the ears coming off it. It'll be good. All right, here's what I got for 3/8 plate. All right, you don't need to watch me cut this. Alrighty, the motor mount situation is a little interesting here. So you can see just how much farther forward than the engine is sitting than the motor mount. My plate here that I said I was gonna make 8 by 4, 3/8 thick. Just made a little template of it there. It'll work kind of nicely, the shape of it this size, because I can't put it too far forward because of this oil filter. So as far forward as it'll go, it's kind of centered with the motor mount anyways. And you can kind of see I made a little Sharpie mark right there, which is where that front hole will go. And then I have a measurement of the 2 holes. Center will be pretty much almost center with the bolt hole of this. And then I can make my ears come off of that, and it'll actually look pretty good. Same goes for the other side. It's a little bit different because there's no oil filter there, so I could put the plate farther forward, but centered with this will look aesthetically pleasing, and I think it'll look all right. For the bolt measurement, I just took a set of calipers. They're not even turned on because the distance is irrelevant. I just need to know how far apart to make my holes. The center of those 2 holes is exactly the dimension inside here. So I'm just gonna take that on the cardboard, transfer it to the plate, and call it good. Wait, why am I doing this on the cardboard? I just need that. Man, I am dumb. 1 there. Wee. 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 There. Now usually I like to deburr with a countersink bit, but I don't have any of those, so we're just going to use a step drill on high speed. It's almost drilling right out to 7/16, so let's just put it to that. What the hell? There we get a nice deburr. Good news, the measurement is only off by like a teeny little hair. Ooh, that other plate's gonna be really close. All right, what an absolute pain getting that in there was. It's hanging close enough that I'm happy with it. I'm gonna start making the plates that come off for the engine mounts. Now, I want the ear that comes off to be the entire height of this plate and then come out far enough that there's enough meat around, so it'll kind of look like a little P flag. Let me just do it and show you what I mean. So, kind of up to here. Perfect. Actually the top line of that's not looking too bad either. That covers top and bottom, it comes out nice. I think if we just do a nice little radius from about here. Actually, that's pretty damn good. Does it work for the other side though? Okay. No. Okay, this is, I'll make one for the other side separate. Oh, I should mark the hole. Yeah, how am I gonna do that? Oh, just like that apparently. So the hole is right there. You can just make out that indent. And honestly, just to save time, you watched me do that one. It was pretty simple, straightforward. I'm gonna do all 4 and then I'll come back once I'm ready to cut them out of the plate. Alrighty, that took a little bit of time. If you can't tell by all the metal that has now gathered on the floor, well, that took a lot of time. If you can't gather by all the metal that's gathered on the floor, we now have all of the ears done. Well, partially done because I still have to mark and drill the holes, but that's simple. So I tend to get really excited and just do things. So I ended up slapping those plates in for the motor mounts. And I just have to say, oh my god, they actually look like motor mounts. This one, it's sagging down a little bit just because of the way it has to sit. They're thick, they're huge, they look structural. I ended up grinding. You can just see a teeny little bevel on each side because it's 3/8 plate, so I'll just weld the absolute crap out of it and I think we'll be good. Alrighty, welder is out, engine is ready. I want to say I'm ready. This has been a long time coming and I have a lot more left to do, but man, this is a big step. That's a tack. Oh, this is happening. I don't know how I'm gonna get it out after this, but it's happening. I don't know about you, but I am shitting my pants because this is, that's where she's gonna sit. Ah! Oh, how cool is that? Fuck yeah. Now we get to figure out if I can actually take this thing out of here. Uh-oh. The both bolts came out nice and easy. That's a good sign. Kind of freely hanging here. It's already starting to swing, which is a good sign. Okay, we can get the bolt out. Good. Beautiful. Alright, getting this off is gonna be a process. How tight that bolt is in here, but I think we'll get the play to do it. This actually isn't that bad of a workaround. Hey, there we go. Nicely done. This is the passenger side. This is the driver's side. Not that it really matters. I made these plates as identical as I could, and check this out. They almost turned out exactly the same. Yeah, like you look at the place they're mounted, aside from length because of how the engine sits in there, they're pretty much identical. That's impressive, even by my standards. I love welding thick steel, except for the part where it starts to warp 3/8 plate. That is crazy to me. I guess it's fair, only one weld out of 8 turns out kind of lame. Okay, it's 11:30 at night. These are done. I need to call it quits. So when I welded those mounts, you can probably tell they warped a lot. Let me grab a straight edge. Yeah, that mount has, you can see up here, there's a lot there. And oh my God, even more down there. So I did an off-camera test, I'll show you. This one's now bolted back in here, and you can just see the shape of this plate is kind of banana-like. It's straight, and then it comes out this way, and then it's straight again. I did that just in the press over there. I heated it up on this weld seam in hopes of bending this piece out, because this was the part that warped, and it actually bent in the middle, and somehow it still stayed square to the engine block. I'm gonna call that a win. I'm gonna try to replicate the same thing with that one, and hopefully it'll work out. I'm gonna replicate as close to what I did as I can. I did it in here like this, because in my brain I thought squaring it up like this would bend the most warped part out. This section of the mount is technically useless. It might just be good bracketry to bolt shit to or whatever, because it is warped too, but this is the important part. These two holes need to be squared to the block so I can bolt it on properly. I thought having it in here like this, you know, give this enough leverage to bend. Apparently that was wrong. So I set it up much like this. Started jacking it just a little bit. That's what he said. I put a little bit of pressure on it. And I had the temp gun, which is sitting right there. Torch on literally full blast. And I think I read this was about I think it was 275 degrees Fahrenheit. And literally just hit it with the press, and I thought I fucked it up actually because it bent the wrong way, but it worked. So let's do it again. This heat probably honestly doesn't do anything, but we're just gonna replicate exactly what I did. 287. Okay, we're gonna call that good there. We'll do one more pass. And we'll do the same thing, and we'll hope for the best. Well, I wouldn't call it a perfect solution, but for me, that's good. It's not perfect, but the bolt holes are square enough that I don't really care. Oh, that was hot. Oh, that's hot. Don't touch that. All right, so let's see if that's still hot. Well, it does fit the mounts. Looks like it is square to the block. Let's see if we can bolt that up. I might go cool this down quick, because yep, that's hot. Why did I touch it again? All right, I cool it down. Ow, obviously not enough. Whatever. Okay, well, one's a good sign. Ah, these are so hard to work with. Who built these damn things? Yeah, you know, that's acceptable to me. Now, these aren't completely done yet. I plan on just doing a little round to the corners and a bevel to all the edges, but I need these in here to make the trans mount, so these are going to stay here for now. And looks like we lined up. Haha, the bolt still goes in. That's a win in my books. Alrighty. That son of a bitch is in. With those in, we can now move on to the transmission crossmember. That's going to be a separate video because this is already taking me long enough. So they're in, they work, they're functional, and we're one step ahead. So I hope you like that process. I hope you come back for more. Thanks for watching.